back to another episode of Cooking with Lawn. Now, if you didn't check out last week's episode, we made Parmesan crusted chicken over a bed of pesto pasta. It was so easy, so simple, and so delicious. So if you haven't caught up on last week's episode or any episodes of Cooking with Lawn, you can always find a Cooking with Lawn playlist in the description box below. But I want to start off by doing the same thing that I always do, highlighting some of our subscriber comments from the last cooking video. BB Mac said, so I made this for our Sunday family dinner and it was a hit. Everybody loved it. So in love with your videos. I love the simplicity but great taste of your recipes. Keep the Cooking with Lawn series coming. Thank you so much, BB Mac. I do enjoy, cooking for you guys and giving you guys new recipes, and I like making simple dishes, so I always want to give you something that you can make in at least under 30 minutes. So I was thinking, like, what can I make for Cooking with Lawn this week? I was wrecking my brain. Like, I wanted something tasty, something that you guys would enjoy, and then it just hit me. Breakfast for dinner. I don't know about y'all, but sometimes I like to enjoy breakfast for dinner or even breakfast for breakfast. Today, we are making cinnamon roll pancakes. They are going to be so sweet and delicious and gooey. And then to accompany it, I'm going to show you guys how to make the perfect omelet. I know you guys are out there so sick of turning your omelets into scrambled eggs, but I'm going to show you how to never have to do that again. Alright, so first things first, we're going to get all the meal prep out of the way. So I'm going to first chop up all the veggies and the meat that I want to go into my omelet. These are the things that you can find in my omelet anytime, whether I'm making one at home or I'm eating out at a restaurant. These are the ingredients that I like to put in my omelet. So I got a little bit of turkey bacon here, and I'm just putting a fine dice on this turkey bacon. And I'm going to just add this to my bowl because we're going to saute all the meats and veggies all at once. And then I have some red onion. I like a lot of veggies in my omelet. I love vegetables. These are the things that you can find in my omelet all the time. You can use yellow onion as well. I'm going to toss this in here. And then I also have some portobello mushrooms. Love portobello mushrooms. I can eat mushrooms by themselves. So I'm going to go ahead and chop these up as well. And I love like the texture the mushrooms give my omelet. It gives it like a nice texture and it makes the omelet nice and hearty. I also like to add spinach to my omelet. I don't have any on hand today, but best believe if I had some spinach, I'd add that right in here too. And then last but not least, I just have some mini cherry tomatoes that I'm going to dice up finely. And I'm actually going to set these aside. I'm not going to add it in with my other vegetables because I don't want them to get soggy and create like more water. So I'm going to just set these aside. Alright guys, so we moved our vegetables to the side and now we're going to get started on the cinnamon frosting or icing that's going to go in the pancakes. So we're going to start out with some brown sugar. This is light brown sugar. And it definitely looks like a lot of sugar. We're going to add some ground cinnamon in here. And then we're going to add melted butter. And we're just going to whisk this up. And you can imagine how tasty this is going to be when we put this over top of our pancakes. And it's nice and thick. This is exactly the thickness that you want. You don't want it to be too thick, but not too thin all at the same time. So now that we have our icing ready, we're just going to pour it into a sandwich bag, and that's going to help us be able to create the swirl later. Oh God, I spilled it. Just pour all of this in the bag. And don't worry, we'll cut a hole in it later, but for right now, we're just going to set this aside. All right, now we're going to prep our eggs for the omelet. Very, very important. I'm just going to crack 2 eggs. If you want a 3-egg omelet, you can do a 3-egg omelet, but 2 eggs fill me up. And I'm gonna just go ahead and whisk this up. You don't want to put any milk, any cream. That's another tip to making your omelet nice and like thick in texture, so that you don't have to turn it into scrambled eggs. Don't put any milk in your eggs, because then the milk actually softens up your eggs. You can add milk when you're making like scrambled eggs, but it's not necessary or needed when you're making an omelet. So I'm just adding a little bit of salt and pepper, and I'm gonna keep on beating these eggs until they're nice and smooth. Alright, so I have a saucepan here. Tip number 100 about making an omelet: you want to get a nice size pan. This is about an 8-inch pan. If you try to make an omelet in a huge pan, your egg is just going to run everywhere. You want a small pan that's going to be able to control the egg. So I'm just going to add a little bit of olive oil to the pan, and I'm going to add in all my veggies so that they can cook along with that turkey bacon. And we're actually going to swap these out. I'm going to let my vegetables cook on the back burner while we start working on the cream cheese icing for the pancakes. So my pan's a little hot here, so I'm going to go ahead and add some butter. I'm going to let this butter melt down before I add in any other ingredients. So our butter is melted. So now I'm going to add in cream cheese. This is at room temperature. And I'm going to let this melt down into the sauce as well. And you want to constantly stir this so that the cream cheese doesn't curdle up. Once I show you guys how to make this dish, I promise you won't ever have to go out for breakfast again. Save your coin. Make it at home yourself. Getting nice and thick. The last few things I'm going to add in are some powdered sugar, and that's going to thicken the sauce up. Oh, look at that. Y'all, imagine how this tastes. Cream cheese, butter, powdered sugar, and then I'm going to also add some vanilla extract. And I'm going to keep on whisking this. I let my pan reheat after I dumped out the veggies. And now I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil in the pan. Not too much. We don't want to fry the egg. We just want to cook it, you know. So I'm going to just swirl this around. It's good to swirl it around the pan. And use a non-stick pan so that your eggs don't stick. And I have it on like medium-low heat because I don't like my eggs too brown. So now I'm just going to literally pour the egg into the bowl. You see how small the omelet will actually wind up because of its diameter. So I'm just going to swirl it around the pan just a little bit to create a wider diameter. Just a little bit. You see how I widen the egg? Now you don't have to do this all the time. It depends upon what size pan that you're using, but I like doing that if I feel like the egg is going to be a little too small. After this, you just leave the omelet alone. Don't do anything to it. Don't touch it. Don't even look at it. Leave it here for like, I want to say like a good 3 minutes, and let the omelet cook from the bottom up to the top. That's it. That is the key to making a good omelet. Sometimes we flip it over too quickly and it's all broken up because the egg hasn't had a chance to cook. But if you just leave it alone for a little bit, once we flip this over, it'll stay intact. I promise you. Alright, so there's 2 ways that you can do your omelet. Right now, as you can see, it's a little bit jiggly on top, which means it's still a little bit of raw egg on the bottom. So this is actually firm enough for me to flip over like this. If not, all you have to do is pick up one side of the omelet and let that raw egg drain over. And then sometimes I just cover it up with the egg. So that way, you see, it's hardly nothing there anymore. And then that egg is going to cook underneath, and then we'll be ready to flip. It's been about 3.5 minutes since I dumped the egg in here, and it's cooking nicely. As you can see, it's very firm. It's Now, don't get me wrong, I cannot flip this pan like how they do in Food Network. I will mess this thing up. But you see how we can move it around in the pan. It's not sticking to the pan or anything. This is actually ready to flip. So I just have a silicone spatula. You can use a metal spatula if you want. And it's just so easy to flip now. So we just flip our egg onto one side. And now, this is the time that I like to add the cheese. The cheese here, I like to add it all around the omelet. And this kind of acts like a glue. Let me show y'all. When you put all the cheese around, and then I have those vegetables. I'm going to add the vegetables just to one side of the omelet. See that? And then because we cooked it all the way through, it really only takes like a minute on the opposite side. And we are ready to flip this bad boy. Look at that. Perfect omelet. It's intact. The omelet is cooked all the way through. And then that cheese acts like a glue in order to hold that omelet together with all the toppings that you wanted. I already went ahead and made my pancake mix. I didn't show you guys this because I took another shortcut. I literally used Aunt Jemima complete buttermilk pancake mix. If y'all thought I was making homemade pancakes, you thought wrong, okay? I like this one because you really just add water to it. There are other ones out there where you have to add like egg and milk. I don't really like those. I like the complete mix. So if you want, you can use the same one that I'm using. So this is the consistency that you want your batter. It's kind of like thick, but at the same time thin. So this is how I like it. And I got some butter melted in the pan. And I'm going to just go ahead and pour this to make my very first pancake. Make it a nice diameter. So when the bubbles start to form on top of the pancake, a bunch of little tiny bubbles, that's when you know your pancake is ready to flip. I'm going to let the bubbles form on here for a few more minutes before I add the cinnamon swirl. Now that all the bubbles have formed on top of the pancake, I'm going to go ahead and just create the cinnamon swirl. Make sure that you don't swirl too far out on the edges because it may leak out. So we're just going to put some in the center there. And now they're ready to flip. Be very careful when you flip it because you don't want that cinnamon to go everywhere. And when we turn that over, y'all, it's going to look like cinnamon rolls. It's going to look so good. So I'm going to just keep on making these. Look at the syrup. It's like seeping out on the side. That's why you want to be careful when you flip it. All right, y'all. Our pancakes are done. Our omelet is done. And I can't wait to try this. I have to try the pancakes first just to see how they're going to taste. Let's see. There's some icing on there. These are so sweet. I don't know if I'm eating pancakes or dessert. And then the cinnamon got like all chewy and crunchy. They taste just like cinnamon buns. And then the pancakes got the crispy edges because of all that butter that we put in the pan. Those are so good. They're so sweet. All right, now I'm going to move on to my omelet. And it's still nice and hot because I kept it on a back flame. I mean, I know what my omelets taste like, but we're going to try it. Omelet is so good. The vegetables still have a crunch. We didn't overcook the veggies. It's just, let me just get one more bite. And the cheddar cheese, I love cheddar cheese with my eggs because it's so sharp. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this special Cooking with Lauren recipe tonight where we made breakfast for dinner. I'm telling you, y'all, these pancakes are amazing. And then the omelet, you will never have to worry about turning your omelets into scrambled eggs again because I gave you all these tips and tricks so that you know how to flip and make your omelet. I will see you guys next week, same time, same place, different recipe. Make sure you let me know in the comments below what recipes you want to see. If there's anything you want to see, please feel free to comment down below and I'll try my best to cook it up for you. So I'll see you guys next week, y'all. Peace.